Hello everybody and welcome back into the fort. My name is Tyler Saves Ya Bucks and I am here to talk about Neriv, Crackling Vanguard. This is one of the commanders that you can run in the Mardu Precon, and I recently released an article talking about this commander, and it's almost like an upgrade to the Precon if that is what you are wanting to do out of the box. But the exciting news that I was alluding to last week is the fact that that article is on EDH Rec. So I am now a official writer for EDH Rec. I'm incredibly excited for that. So you'll be seeing Bulk Up and the 14 for 14 cards articles going over there starting now. So you can check that article out and many more to come. So I'm very excited about that, but I'm also very excited to talk about this commander. So very interesting when it comes to this card. It is, again, Neriv or Neriv. I've heard so many pronunciations of this card. Crackling Vanguard, 2 red, white, and a black for a 4/4 flying death touch. Enters, you make 2 goblin creature tokens. That's just the first, that's just the basics there. And then the meat of the card is whenever it attacks, exile a number of cards from the top of your library equal to the number of differently named tokens you control. During any turn you attacked with a commander, you may play those cards. So this is the type of strategy and challenge that a lot of commander players enjoy. Finding a bunch of differently named tokens is a cool deck strategy, and I wanted to throw out some cards that make very unique tokens, especially for these colors, that you can put into the commander deck, or this could be a good basis starting off point for you to make your own. 14 cards for under $14, so you're not breaking the bank. When it comes to the uniqueness, as I can very eloquently say, of each token, you're going to run into the issue of not having every single one of them in your collection. So I highly recommend that you try out Infinitokens. Not a sponsor of this video, just a very great product. I feel like somebody else says that, but I don't know who. But either way, I do say that you should give these a shot if you're going to be making a deck like this, because every once in a while you'll run into the issue of, oh man, I don't have that one token I swear I did. And Infinitokens is always here to help when it comes to that. But Neriv is just very interesting, and it's kind of an all or nothing deck. You're going to make a bunch of unique tokens, and you're going to exile a bunch of cards. So let's look at a few of the creatures and spells that I added to the list that make those cool tokens. Starting off with Toby, Beastie Befriender. This is 3 mana for a 1/1. When it enters, create a 4/4 white beast creature token with this creature can't attack or block alone, which is kind of cute. And then as long as you control 4 or more creature tokens you control have flying. So very, very cool in this deck, because you're going to be making a lot of creature tokens, and this will help give them evasion. But it'll also come down and make you a beast that in these colors, you don't really get too many beasts. And that this is a good thing to say at this point. When it comes to making differently named tokens, when I was first looking into this, I thought, like, say you made a spirit and it was a black white spirit and then a white spirit. I thought those would be 2 different, but no, they both say spirit. That's the name of the token. So trying to find other creatures and other effects that make tokens that aren't usually in these colors or are very unique to just that card was very fun, I'll be honest, to put together when it came to this list. So in white, you don't make too many beast tokens, but Toby is here to help with that. And, here's the thing. I'm not the greatest artist, I'll be honest with you, but, just to show you what you can do very quickly with Infinitokens, you can whip something together to try and make, a beast, and there you go. And then it's like, look, guys, I made a beast, and it's from off of that. And I'm sorry, I'm not the greatest artist. It barely even looks like it, but I'll just put this over there. But yeah, so Toby, Really, really great, and only 40 cents right now. So pick it up. Let's move along a little bit quicker here. We got Lagomos, Hand of Hatred. This is a 3-mana Rakdos creature that at the beginning of combat, you're going to make a red elemental, and you sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step, but also you can tap it, and if 5 or more creatures died on a turn, you can tutor up a card. So very cool. These colors do make elementals kind of often, especially red. But when it comes to this deck, I have a feeling like you're going to want to attack with some of these and you're going to be losing them. So having a creature that makes a new creature token at the beginning of each combat, at the beginning of your combat, is something that will help your engine kind of churn. And then if a lot of creatures die during that combat, you're going to be able to tutor something up into your hand. And for only 3 mana, it is a nice include. Another nice include, all of these are nice. I could say that, but in the middle of every single one. But Araxa, Empress of the Moon, is a 4-mana 5/4 with Trample and Battle Cry. But it says, whenever you cast a spell from anywhere other than your hand, create a 2/2 red alien warrior creature token. So I looked into it. This red alien warrior creature token is only made by Araxa. And this deck is going to want to cast a lot of creatures from exile. So you're going to have a little bit of a value engine between this card and your commander. Next up, we have another way to make tokens that are unique to themselves. We have Alturil Survivors. It's a 0/4 with Trample, Myriad, and when it attacks, it gets +X/+X, where X is the number of lands defending player controls. So Myriad is an interesting way to go with this deck, because when it attacks, you're going to make a token copy of it that's tapped and attacking another opponent. But in this deck, Neriv, you can stack those triggers, and Neriv will see a new token called Alturil Survivors and go, hey, that's a new token, and exile a card. So look into some Myriad creatures, because they will come in clutch when it comes to this deck. And this one is just kind of packs a punch. So scales with the game as it goes on. Next up, we have a commander that I built last year that I really, really enjoy, the Jolly Balloon Man. 3 mana, 1/4, haste. But what it does is you can tap 1 and tap it, and you make a balloon copy of one of the creatures you control. It's a 1/1 with flying and whatnot, and then you sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. What this does as well is you're making token copies of creatures that will have the name of that creature when it enters. So your commander will love looking at that and exiling a card for you. As I say here in the article, the commander deck, the Precon, that's what it's called, comes with a card called Beetleback Chief, which is just something I grabbed randomly because it is a card in the deck that Jolly Balloon Man would love to make a copy of, because you'll get tokens and whatnot. But you tap for 1, you make a copy of it, you get more tokens. All of a sudden you move to combat, you have some more goblins, you have a balloon copy of the Beetleback, and you're going to be exiling more cards. It's very tricky, and in this deck, it'll make you feel a bit clever, because all of a sudden you're making these little balloons that go pop at the end of your turn, all while drawing some cards into exile for you. Another legend, a lot of these are legends. Another legend on the list is Anim Pakal, 1000th Moon. Can you tell that I don't feel confident with that pronunciation? 3 mana, 1/2. Whenever you attack with 1 or more non-gnome creatures, put a 1/1 counter on Anim, and then create X 1/1 colorless gnome creature tokens, where X is the number of 1/1 counters. So gnomes, a lot of cards from Ixalan make these creature tokens, but not too many that'll probably be in this deck. And this commander is really, really good just in general. putting it together with Neriv is really strong because, again, you're going to be making more and more tokens at the beginning of combat and exiling more cards. Because gnomes, unless you're going by, a particular neighborhood and looking in gardens, you don't often see gnomes. At least I don't. Maybe in my dreams, my nightmares. Anyone see that Goosebumps episode? All right. Next up, we have Quintarius Canned. I should have, when I was, I looked through this list again, and I should have said them all out loud in the mirror before I started recording this. But this is a Planeswalker for 5 mana. It does a whole lot of things. What's pivotal for this deck is the fact that whenever you cast a spell from exile, it deals 2 damage to each opponent, and you gain 2 life. And you're going to be doing that a lot, hopefully, in this deck. So this is a way in a aggro strategy when you're constantly pressuring life totals. People want to bring it back to you. So in turn, you're going to be doing your game plan, gaining some life, and lowering their life totals even more. And it also makes a spirit. So you don't have a spirit on board. This is another reoccurring way to make a spirit, and it's a little bit beefier, being that 3/2. Next up on the list, we got Darkstar Augur. Now, another way to make interesting and unique tokens is with something like Offspring. So this is 3 mana, it's a 2/3 flyer, and Offspring for 1, which means when you cast it, you may pay that 1, and you get a 1/1 copy of the creature. And it says at the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library, put that card into your hand, you lose life equal to its mana value. So it's a little bit of card draw. At the same time, you can look at all the Offspring creatures in these colors and add some more of them that fit with the vibe of this deck. Because again, it's making a unique token, and that's a kind of like how Myriad did. So Offspring is just another way to do that. And then also putting cards into your hand is kind of important in this deck. If you get in a sticky situation where you can't really attack with your commander or something else happens, you have a lot of cards in exile that you can't cast right now, making sure you have other ways to put cards into your hand will be important. A mechanic that is very similar to Offspring is Squad, and we're looking at Space Marine Devastator. It's a 4 mana 3/3 with Squad. So the thing that you can do with Squad is pay its squad cost multiple times, and you can get multiple token copies of it. And when this enters, you destroy target artifact or enchantment. So kind of a reclamation sage. Why I put this in the deck, because it's a good, fruit and veggies for your deck. The fact that you do need some removal, like how the last card was a little bit of card draw. And why not put this in the deck where you're going to be synergizing with your commander and having the deck hum a little bit. But yeah, Squad, and the fact that you can pay it as many times as you want in the late game, or something that you just need to get rid of somebody's crawl space or something they have locking you down, having this, and you can blow up a bunch of things. Very, very nice. Space Marine Devastator. And also, it's such a cool name. Curse of Opulence is up next. Now, when I was looking at this list and putting it together, I tried not to put any cards that were from the Precon onto the list. And I thought for sure that this was in the Mardu Precon, but it's not. It's in the Jeskai Precon. So this deck is really kind of hurting for Curse of Opulence. Turn 1, get it down, all of a sudden make those gold. And since it's gold and not treasure, which still gets people to this day, they're a little confused as to what token it makes. Since you're making a gold, you can be making as much treasure as you want, and Neriv will see the gold and the treasure as 2 separate things and exile more cards. And that's a good point before I move on, is the fact that your commander triggers on any token, not just creature tokens. It just happens to work pretty well with the aggro strategy to make more creature tokens. But yeah, if you're making non-creature tokens, you're going to be triggering that effect. We Ride at Dawn is an interesting card for 3 mana. It gives legendary spells, creature spells, you control Convoke, which means your creatures can tap to help cast it. And then whenever your commander attacks, create a 1/1 red mercenary. So the mercenary, again, it was only really made in Thunder Junction. So it's a little unique there. And then in turn, you're going to have a lot of these tokens out. If somebody removes your commander and you want to just recast it again, you can tap a bunch of those tokens and bring your commander right back out and start the engine rolling all over again. So it's a nice pickup, and it's only like 30 cents or so right now. And I think it's pretty good. Moving on to Not Dead After All. This is another showcase of a non-creature token. So the fact that basically if something dies, you can bring it right back to the battlefield, and then you put a Wicked Roll token attached to it, which is an enchantment aura. But again, it is a token. So even that will make your commander take a look at it and be like, hey, that's a new type of token. And it's a little bit of protection, only for 1 mana. Not too big of an ask when it comes to running it. Okay, so the next one on the list, on my article, I have Caesar, Legion's Emperor. But in the time of writing the article and then it being posted and everything, Caesar rose way up in price, I think because people saw how good it was with Mobilize and the new Precon and everything. So instead of that, I will go to a Fallout card and talk about, where is it? It is Rose, Cutthroat Raider, which is 4 mana, first strike, 3/2. And then at the beginning of combat on your turn, if you attacked this turn, at the end of combat, sorry, if you attack this turn, create a junk token for each opponent you attacked. And then whenever you sacrifice a junk, add red. So junk is, again, it's a kind of a way to exile things and cast them. But in this deck, you're kind of doing this thing in general. You're attacking people, you're making tokens, so on and so forth. And the fact that Rose makes junk is very, very specific, again, only to Fallout. So you will be making more tokens to trigger your commander, all while getting some benefits when you crack those junk. So I originally had Caesar in the list to talk about card draw, and then it got way far up. So Rose is taking the place, and also kind of in a similar theme and mana cost. Finally, I am talking about Nayeli. Sun's Vanguard. Like Crackling Vanguard. I just realized that. This is a Vanguard typal deck. You heard it here first. 4 mana for a 3/3. Attacking tokens you control have double strike. And whenever one or more tokens you control attack a player, exile the top card of your library. During any turn you attacked with a token, you may play that card. So why this is so great in this deck is because that's what you're wanting to do. You want to make tokens, you want to attack with them. And it's very similar to Neriv in the way that you will, any turn you attack with your commander, you can cast these cards. Any turn you attack with a token, you can cast those cards. Just forewarning, make 2 separate piles and make it as clear as possible for your opponents. You don't want to give them more reasons to hate this deck. And a good way to do that would be, wait, did I exile this with that? Or is that, wait, that's with the junk. That's with my planeswalker. That's what, you don't want to do that as much as possible. So just have a little system before you start the game, because this Nayeli is far too good not to include, even if it might be a little bit of a headache. A double strike, so strong with so many of these creature tokens I was talking about. But then at the same time, if your commander gets removed, you kind of have a second commander here. And it's a Vanguard as well. So that is my list. Again, I'm so excited to be writing for EDH Rec, and I'm happy that you guys are here along with the ride for me, and so many people who've seen the update on YouTube or on my socials or just personally congratulating me. I really appreciate it. It means a lot. So let me know what you thought about this list in the comments, and feel free to throw in the comments what other cards you would include. I gave you 14, but let's do a full 99 in there. Don't just say swamp or mountain or plains or anything, but let's put as many great cards in the comments. I want to see them. I will do what I can to reply to every single one, because if somebody watches this video, they can just scroll down and see your recommendations, and we can help even more people build around this really cool commander. So I will see you guys next time in the fort and EDH Rec. Whew. This is Tyler Saves You Bucks signing out. I don't say that ever. All right, I'm just going to leave. I'm too excited. I'm too jazzed up. I'm going to take my beast and we're going to go home. Even though I'm already home. I don't know what I'm talking about. Bye.